Hello, welcome to another edition of the Complete Agent Podcast, where each week we get together to talk all things estate agency. My name is James Kendall, and I'm joined by my very good friend, Mr. Barn Conversion himself from Cheshire. No David Warburton this week. Gary Neville is still on holiday. Ian, how are you, mate? And how's your week been?
Good morning, James Kendall. Very well, thank you, mate. Very well indeed. I know we're going to discuss it when we get into the pod, but we're not quiet. You know, we're currently booking Vals in the second half of September.
All right,
as we speak. And 4 sales this week definitely confirmed. I think 2 more, hopefully, today, tomorrow. One of those will be 2 million, one will be 1.8. They're linked. So I think that's going to happen today. The buyer's coming back to me on the first one in the chain today after speaking to a few private lenders. So, you know, all good. Yeah, all good. We had a bit of a hairy situation yesterday where we had two other linked properties, beauties, one at 1.5, one at 1. And the guy at the top of the chain was massively kicking off because he didn't have a 10% cash on the deposit for exchange. It was just, it was about 65% plus the rest, obviously, liability on the buyer. And he just wasn't happy. And it really got a bit dicey yesterday. But me and Hayley, the solicitor, shout out to Hayley, we managed to, we were busting our balls really for sort of 48 hours, going to and fro and getting some money from down the chain and passing it up. And we managed to get it. It was meant to be like 150 grand for the deposit. And we managed to get it up to 122. And the guy at the top accepted and he exchanged yesterday. So that's 2 good ones that are going to complete on the 28th. So yeah, all good, mate. You know, not quiet at all. How about you?
Not quite in the slightest either, to be honest. Our biggest issue, as it continues to be, is getting them to market at the moment as well. We've got about 12 million quid's worth in photography at the moment, and it's just trying to get it all out the other end. You know, some stuff that's obviously geared up for a September launch. Launched one yesterday, lovely one at cottage on 2/3 of an acre. That's a 900 grander. I've got one, I think I put it in our TCA members group the other day. I've just been instructed on a really nice barn at 2.25. Brand new barn on a couple of acres available with it as well.
Nice.
I'm going to one today, and you talk about the long game, right? These guys have been getting letters for about 3.5 years in different capacities. And this is the 3rd time I will have gone to see them. And he rang me on Monday and said, right, you've been waiting for this call for probably 2-3 years now. We're ready.
Brilliant.
And it's arguably, if you stopped 10 people on the street in Bedford town centre and said, where do you want to live? Guarantee you at least 7 of them would say this road.
Wow.
It is the pinnacle of where you want to be in Bedford. It is the jewel in the crown. So I haven't signed anything up yet. Let's see, but they've pretty much said on the phone that they're ready to go ahead.
You're confident and you've got momentum, you know. So
the thing is, there's no reason why they wouldn't. I mean, I know that we're going to battle over fee. I know it's going to happen because he's the classic when you tell someone 2% and they go, "Ooh," you know.
But that's the fun bit, isn't it? That's the fun bit. But
also, he wants to buy onward as well. So it's going to be quite an easy conversation in that, I'm not going to charge you 2.5%. So 1.5% to sell yours and 1% for your acquisition. Yeah. Let's just keep it all simple in-house, 2% plus VAT, upfront marketing fee, and we'll get it looking amazing. And there will be houses that come to us off the back of it as well. Nice. So yeah, a couple of other nice ones in photography. We had there's a lot of chain linking going on at the moment. And
much.
It's crucial to be strong with your clients as well, to tell them that they need to let people in that aren't on the market.
Yeah.
Because I'm actually in that position. As you know, we were chatting the other day. I'm looking to move now, and I will just put this on the market at some point. I'm not quite ready to do it yet because there's a few jobs I want to do to make it look absolutely as good as it could do for a newer build. But I want my sort of forever family home next, and it's got to be right. And there's and being in those shoes, that you need to sort of almost see, if I saw something tomorrow that I thought I can't miss out on that, like mine will be up tomorrow, like in whatever shape it's in now.
Plus, mate, as I'm sure you will do anyway, you're going to get yours market ready, aren't you? So even if you don't find the perfect one straight away, yours will be ready to go straight on when you do.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, to be honest, it's quite minor, really. I've got obviously having an in-house stylist is really helpful. So she's going to come round and basically said, look, pretend I'm not your boss and just absolutely slaughter my house. Tell me what you would do if this was in a professional capacity. I know there's a few bits and pieces I've got to clear out of certain spaces, and there's a couple of bits of touching up and decorating ideally I'd like to do where the kids are like they unable to walk around the house without dragging their hands against the wall. So there's a few of those that we just need to touch up. But other than that, it's fairly minor. But like you quite rightly say, we'll just get everything ready to go. And to be honest, I might just press the button anyway when that's ready to go and see what happens. There's no harm in doing so. But anyway, the point of that was getting people around. So I've got an instruction at 9:50 that we launched recently. Did 4 viewings on it last week. And one person that is super keen that has offered over, they've got a house to sell on the market with another agent, been on for 4 months.
Great.
Had a conversation with her on the phone. And it's a classic. I'm really looking forward to it because I'm going to see them on Friday evening, but they need us. They really need us. Like the photos that have been taken are just, I would be embarrassed if I put that online, to be honest. Cars on the drive, stuff everywhere. There's a Hoover in the kitchen.
Right.
It's not actually about, it's not the sexiest house in the world. It's just a modern 3-story house. But it's just, if I don't give a fuck was a photo, it would be their front photo.
Yeah.
And that's on the agent's side.
They're great. They're so easy. I love those ones when you go up to those, when they're already on, the marketing's a bit crap, it's just over a price point. Those sorts of things, because I just go in thinking, this is easy. I'm going to be able to show you where your agent's gone wrong, how you can get to a sale, and they'll pay you 2%.
And that's exactly it. It's in that little gold dust segment where, at 550-ish, you just know, it's an 11 grand fee.
Yeah, do you know what, JK, the ones we've sale agreed this week, which has been 4 before the 2 biggies that I'm hoping are going to be today and tomorrow, they've all been gold dust. So they've been from 450 to 935, all 2%. It's just brilliant. It's just a brilliant section of the market, and it's important to not be too high end. I think obviously you want a good supply of high end because the fees are amazing and it's good fun, isn't it? Marketing these lovely houses.
What it does do as well, though, is that it does trickle down because people aspire to use you because you're selling £2 and £3 million houses.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, it definitely trickles down.
It does benefit the low end, but you quite rightly say you don't need to be just a high end agent that does 1, 2, 3 million plus.
No,
because you can get those out by 2, 3, 4, 500 grand, and they'll sit on the market for 6 months doing nothing.
Yeah,
whereas you can have a really nice 500 grander. Again, like in this scenario here, a 500 grander that wants to buy a 900 odd grander, those two together combined is 30 grand for one sale.
I was on Simon Gates's podcast earlier this week. Finally, my fault, not his. And we did about 10 minutes on mindset and fees.
Yeah.
And it's just so true. It's so true. It has to start with your mindset, and then obviously you need the tool set and the skill set as well to be able to charge the fees. But it has to start with your mindset. And anyone listening who is trying to either get into the higher end or sell nicer houses, that's great, and we can help with that. But it's got to start with your mindset, because if you're charging 2% on 500 grand houses, it's just transformational for your business and your life.
Yeah, 100%. And you can build a team around you. That's the thing as well. You can build a team that, so I'm going on holiday Monday to Thursday next week, and it's all good. I know that life will just go on. Yeah,
that's right. Yeah, exactly. I'm the same. So I just sort of want to talk about how it's not quiet, because I know that a lot of agents tell sellers it's quiet as an excuse because the price is wrong or the marketing is not very good. And that's very common, isn't it? And it's an easy time of year to do that as well, because people will definitely believe you in August. But it really isn't quiet. I mean, you've got to have sort of one eye on that, maybe not even one full eye on that. It is August, so people are away. But nevertheless, there is definitely interest. I mean, I know you're the same, but we have interest basically on everything that we've got on the market. We've got lots of second viewings happening. I know that's nationwide before people are deciding what they offer on. But there is absolutely viewings on a lot of properties. There is offers. There is new instructions. I know that mortgage lending is up. We discussed that on the pod, didn't we? With Gatesy. So it's definitely not quiet. You just need to go out there and make a market for yourself, I think.
The thing is, if you don't, what I think you would say with the buyers at the moment is that, if buyers are waiting for rates to come down, then prices inevitably are going to go up.
Yeah.
And if rates go up, mortgage payments, the best time to buy is now.
Yeah.
And I'm glad that I'm looking to move in this market where I've got a bit more time, and it can be a little bit frustrated with negotiations being protracted. I've got one at the moment at 1.25, and we've been negotiating for probably the best part of 3 weeks.
Wow.
Which is just, it's painful.
Crazy. Yeah.
We're the
same.
The buyer knows he's paying top money for it, and the seller also is aware that it is top money as well. But it is one of those generational homes where you can't just go out and buy it.
No,
you've got to wait for it to come up every 30 years.
Yeah, nice.
There's no other. The buyer, it always feels like the buyer is waiting for something else to come on the market.
Yeah, yeah.
Wow, that
it does.
There was another one literally at the other end of the village, almost double the size of this house at the same price, but it needed 500 spending on it.
Wow.
So it's up to you. I said to her, it's up to you. I can take to come and see this other house, but if someone that wants to move into the village that's got a 2-year-old, are you really going to want to take on a full refurbishment project? And the answer to that is no. So now we're actually finally getting somewhere, which is really good. And the other thing I also wanted to do as well was talk about some of the results that the guys have been having, and also how you can, maybe it's a bold claim, but how you can add 50 to 100k to your pipeline without spending any money, which sounds like a bold claim. And this isn't revolutionary. This isn't our own idea, but it's like anything. You've got to implement the onward negotiation part of the job. So what I mean by that is helping your clients source properties. So taking an upfront payment from them. So in some cases that might be X amount plus VAT for X amount of letters, and then charging them a fee to secure a property, so like a finder's fee.
Yeah.
And also equally adding in, if it's on the market already and you're going head to head with another agent for your client, then the percentage of the saving on the cost. And that's something, I guess we really learnt from Perry Power probably about 7 years ago, something like that.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, we've done it quite a bit. We have a section on our website dedicated to it. We could probably do more of it if we applied ourselves. But it's a great extra. It's a great extra income stream. We had a member, didn't we? A TCA, a complete agent member this week who had some great success from that. I think she's charged 1%.
Yeah, so she just completed her first one. It says, I think it's exchanged now, and she's just charged a 1% acquisition fee plus some money up front.
Amazing.
On an 850 grand property. So yeah, shout out to you, Kirsty. Well done.
Brilliant.
And I think that was great. We had a good chat before she did it, and but the other good thing that came of that as well, that maybe isn't spoken about, is when you send 100 of our buyer letters. Mm-hmm. So we gave a free buyer letter away a little while back, but we've obviously got our own as well for members only. And when the letter's gone out, so 100 letters have gone out, there's been that sale that's happened and transacted, but also she's been out to, I think, 7 others as well as a result of it. There's 7 other vals off the back of it. If you knew you could send 100 letters out and get 8 valuations and 1 instruction that you were going to get paid, I mean, why are you not doing more? We've really been double down on that. I went to one yesterday, really nice village, be about 1.1. He owns 3 or 4 other properties that he'll want to sell as well. Really switched on guy, loved the data. That data loft valuation, it was literally like a little bird was flying into my hand and going.
Yeah, mate, I had one yesterday. Was it yesterday? No, day before. 900 mil, converted school, lovely property. And he definitely had not had the data from the other agents. We were the 4th agent in.
Yeah.
And he was a techie, ops type guy.
Yeah.
Obviously done very well. He's building in his garden, like probably a £1.5 million house in his garden. Then he'll sell the old school. And he absolutely loved the data. So I showed him the data loft graph, all the pound per square foot analysis, what's happened to the market since COVID and since he bought it. And he absolutely loved it. He also loved our Simon Gates data that I presented, how we perform versus other agents. So, the data is impressive for most people, but for the right people, my God, they absolutely love it, don't they?
But the thing is that at higher end of the market, the people that you're dealing with deal with day to day in, day out.
Yeah.
They don't make decisions based on who's the cheapest who's this or who's that.
Yeah,
they make decisions based on data. So if you're dealing with a CFO or CTO or even CEOs a lot of the time, or entrepreneurs, they don't go, well, that seems all right, we'll just do that.
No, they're that's right, yeah.
What does the data say? If I do this, how do I get X? What's the spreadsheet is really powerful for me as well. Pulling off all of the last 12 months of data on Land Registry of similar properties.
Yes.
And then giving them the kind of minimum, maximum average of the data. And then literally yesterday I was like, right, okay, well, your house is like 3,400 square feet. Average pound per square foot is this. The low end is this. And the upper end is this. And it's kind of, I guess in some ways, you get some corporate agents that give 3 prices. And they're like, it's this this one for a fast sale, this one for a medium sale, this one for a slow sale.
yeah.
It's not that. That's what I'm trying to get across.
No.
What I'm trying to say to them when I'm in their living room is that, or in their dining table, or wherever we are, is that if your house is in poor condition, i.e. needs renovations, needs updating, etc., the minimum someone's prepared to pay pound per square foot at this square footage is X. So your house would be 872,463 based on the data. The average house in the area, so your average Joe Blogg's house, that might be an estate house that's 3,000 square feet, will go for a 1.1, blah, blah, blah. But, a house like yours with, half an acre plot, extension, high-end kitchen, he's got a huge office in the garden and stuff as well. I was like, for top end, it's going to be, mid-4s a square foot. Which is going to put you in the realm of 1,415. So, I think sensibly, looking at the data and the square footage, we should probably pitch it at this. But it probably sits around this sort of figure. And as we all know, valuation's totally subjective at this level. But again, he was like, do you know what? That is brilliant. He goes, I've had 2 other agents out and no one has explained that to me, because he goes, I'm in kind of, he crosses over in the industry. But he just said, I didn't really get the science behind how you value a house. So, well, this is how proper people do it. I said, but everyone else gets a best price guide and says, what would you like to sell it for, sir? Yeah. What do you want? And there's no harm in asking somebody, what do you hope to achieve after you've given your figure?
After you've given your figure, I always do that, yeah. And you just hope it's similar, because then it's game on, isn't it?
Well, and the thing is, even if it's just not, so if for example, in that scenario there, if I'd said 1.4, 1.5, and he'd gone, well, to be honest, really it's 1.6, I just switched to Dave Warburton. Well, that's good news. That's that's right. We're nearly there.
Yeah. And, if this price is competitive when it goes on the market, then you could get easily 1.6.
That's what I mean.
If it isn't competitive, then you've got the answer to your question.
So the idea is, Mr. Seller, not to go on at 1.65, 1.7 to come down to 1.6.
No.
What we need to do is go offers over 1.5.
It's getting them to understand that. I had this at this old school yesterday, so it's probably 9:30, to 9:50, something like that. He's had people say 920 to 1,050,000. So it's definitely offers over 9, this house.
Yeah, offers over 903, 995.
And he understood the science behind it really well. It went down really, really well. I think something else we just wanted to touch on, JK, was the success that a lot of our members have had from letters. I know one agent in particular in the south of the country.
Steve?
So, Steve, yeah, big shout out to Steve. So not in a particularly cosmopolitan area at all, a fairly normal area. Obviously, it's in the south, so it's maybe higher than some areas, but he's not sort of central London, is he? Or, anywhere
I
like that.
I think there's a lot of parity between probably my area and his, and maybe yours and Dave's, to be fair.
Maybe, yeah. I think
in general, pound per square foot, obviously you've got slightly better villages than others, as do we here. We've got some villages here that will command £500 a foot, maybe £600 a foot for the right house. But then equally across the areas, there's ones at 350, 400. But the important thing is, and it is boring, but you have to be consistent. We've just got nearly 10,000 letters out again, and it is an absolute pain in the arse to do. The way we do it, to get them open, to get the response rate, it is painful. But like when you go to the gym, no pain, no gain. You've got to go through it and commit to it consistently.
Yeah, JK, consistency is one thing and something else that me and Gatesy discussed on his podcast earlier in the week, and he was asking, how do you get these fees, and how have you done it so quickly in 5-6 years? And I was saying one of the key pillars of it all is consistency. So consistency across everything, and it's something I've banged on about so much, but it is so true. And at least I'm consistent with it. That being consistent, you need to be consistent at being consistent.
100%.
And that definitely includes your direct mail. So don't not send it 1 month because you're too busy. Our team now, we've got a really good routine with them. They write the letters, they write the envelopes every morning for 15 to 20 minutes. They write 25 envelopes.
Yeah.
Every day.
That's easy.
Easy to do. And then what it means is every quarter we send out 7,500 handwritten envelopes. And we've got a bit more micro on our data these last couple of times as well, which is we've really noticed the response rate increase.
Yes.
So we've got a bit more micro on our data, thanks to Warburton really, and what he does with targeting specific areas, the data to the specific area, and that's worked really, really well. You're quite right. It's just an amazing trickle of fantastic houses. But we've been doing it for 3 years now. I know you have too. So it may be a bit more than 3. So it pays off in the end, but you've got to stick to it, haven't you?
It's like anything though. You can't go to the gym, work out once, and then say, I've got a 6-pack. It doesn't happen. It happens over time. As somebody sits here with a 6-pack, smart.
I can say, I've not seen mine yet for a while.
Yeah, but that is a perfect analogy. And you've also, there's different prongs of attack. You've got your not on the market updates for people. You've got the on the market updates that you've got to be consistent with sending out and targeting the properties that you want. But also the 3-pronged attack is the buyer letters. To make sure you're sending the buyer letters out consistently as well, because these are 3 things that will really transform your business.
And like you say, JK, it's what it leads on to, isn't it? So a good example of the buyer letter for me is we sent out the letter. We had about, 10 to 12 vals booked, all nice properties. One in particular I went to, he said, I'm not selling unless they'll pay me 2.5 million for it. It's definitely not worth 2.5 million. It's probably worth 1.5 million. But the people he knows, I couldn't believe the people he knows. We've sold 2 of the houses for 2 of his friends. He knows all these people, and his mum's got an 800-grand bungalow on the market that's not selling in a neighbouring village. So I'm going to see that in September.
Is that worth 400 as well?
Yeah, that's probably worth 400, yeah.
I'm not selling it for less than 800. You're not selling it then, babe.
No.
But I think, the consistency of the letters, I think your onward negotiation, these are all things that are going to help you get 2% fees. We've had a couple of new members join recently as well that have seriously upped their game. I wanted to shout, we can't shout everyone out on every single podcast, but one member in particular as well that since being with us just, for over a year now, Mike, doubled his operation that he's built and he's building, where he's doubled and tripled his fees in some case, just through mindset and lead generation. It's incredible, really. So shout out to Mike as well. Shout out to everyone as well, because we've got a great group of people. Yeah,
we really have. I can't wait for next mastermind is this month, isn't it?
September.
No, September next month. Sorry, I'm ahead of myself. I'm already back from holiday.
No, I'm going to say, you mentally on holiday, like, come back from holiday, then do mastermind. Yeah.
Yeah, right. Yes, in Milton Keynes, isn't it?
That's it.
So looking forward to that. Really looking forward to that. And you're right, it is such a good group, and it's such a good social event, isn't it? As well as being.
That's what I mean. What's nice is that I speak to a lot of members, and I know you do as well, sort of on a one-to-one basis, and it's really nice when you meet up. The atmosphere is like so non-estate agency, if that makes sense. It's not like, I went to 11 Reef last month. There's none of that. Everyone's there to kind of help, learn, collaborate. We've had agents in the business agents that have shared business between one another. How good is it to be able to say, for example, we've got a house that we've just sold, and they're looking in Mark and Georgina's area. So, how nice is it to be able to kind of go, I've got an agent down there, they're good, and vice versa, talk about the agent that they're viewing through as well. So I think that's a good place to call it. Hopefully next week, and we won't have me next week actually, because I'm on holiday.
Well, I am too, but I'm going to make the time because I'm dedicated.
Well, I'll see if I can make the time as well. But it's been fantastic to have you, David. You've been amazing.
Thanks,
cheers, guys, and we will see you all next week. Thanks for listening, and catch you next week.
Thanks. Bye.